He achieved what many analysts considered impossible when the Kurdistan Workers' Party declared a ceasefire on May 12, 2025, ending 4 decades of armed conflict that had claimed over 40,000 lives. The announcement came after months of secret negotiations mediated by Norwegian diplomats, with PKK leadership agreeing to begin disarmament procedures in exchange for expanded cultural rights and political participation for Turkey's Kurdish population. The ceasefire agreement includes provisions for PKK fighters to surrender weapons at designated collection points across southeastern Turkey, monitored by international observers from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Turkish authorities establish processing centers where former militants undergo background checks and participate in reintegration programs designed to help them transition to civilian life. The disarmament process began in June 2025, with the first groups of fighters emerging from mountain hideouts to surrender their weapons. European Union officials expressed cautious optimism about the peace process, while emphasizing the need for sustained commitment from both sides. The European Parliament passed a resolution supporting Turkey's peace efforts, but called for robust human rights protections during the reintegration phase. Human Rights Watch issued statements welcoming the ceasefire, while warning against potential abuses during the disarmament process, citing concerns about adequate legal protections for former fighters. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced constitutional reforms aimed at addressing Kurdish grievances that had fueled the decades-long conflict. The proposed changes include recognition of Kurdish as an official language in regions where it represents the majority, establishment of cultural autonomy for Kurdish communities, and creation of special economic zones in southeastern provinces to stimulate development. These reforms require parliamentary approval and face opposition from nationalist parties that view them as concessions to separatist demands. The peace process created immediate economic opportunities in southeastern Turkey, where decades of conflict had deterred investment and development. Turkish officials announced plans for a reconstruction program targeting provinces most affected by the insurgency, including infrastructure projects, industrial development initiatives, and educational expansion. International development organizations expressed interest in supporting reconstruction efforts, with the World Bank conducting preliminary assessments of investment opportunities in the region. Kurdish political parties gained unprecedented influence in Turkish politics as the peace process advanced. The People's Democratic Party, which represents Kurdish interests in parliament, became a crucial partner in coalition negotiations following the ceasefire announcement. Their political leverage allowed them to secure commitments for increased funding to southeastern provinces and guarantees that former PKK members would receive fair treatment during reintegration procedures. Security improvements in southeastern Turkey allowed military resources to be redirected toward external threats and regional power projection. Turkish forces previously deployed in counterinsurgency operations could focus on border security along the Syrian frontier and maritime patrol duties in the eastern Mediterranean. The military restructuring enhanced Turkey's ability to respond to regional crises while maintaining domestic stability through peaceful conflict resolution rather than military suppression. Regional powers closely monitored Turkey's peace process as a potential model for resolving their own ethnic conflicts. Iraqi Kurdish leaders sent delegations to Ankara to study Turkish negotiation methods and reintegration procedures. Iranian officials expressed interest in Turkish mediation techniques, given their own challenges with Kurdish populations in border regions. Syrian Kurdish groups requested Turkish assistance in their negotiations with Damascus, recognizing Ankara's newfound credibility in peaceful conflict resolution. The ceasefire's success depended on sustained international support and monitoring to prevent violations by either side. NATO allies provided technical assistance for weapons collection and storage procedures, while European Union funds supported reintegration programs for former fighters. United Nations observers documented the disarmament process to ensure compliance with international standards and provide credible verification of progress toward lasting peace. Turkish civil society organizations played crucial roles in supporting the peace process through dialogue initiatives and reconciliation programs. Universities in southeastern Turkey established Kurdish studies programs, while cultural organizations promoted understanding between Turkish and Kurdish communities. Religious leaders from both communities issued joint statements supporting peaceful coexistence and condemning violence from any source. The economic impact of peace became evident as tourism increased in southeastern Turkey and international businesses expressed interest in previously unstable regions. Agricultural production expanded as farmers gained access to areas that had been restricted due to security concerns. Transportation networks improved as military checkpoints were reduced and normal commercial activity resumed in border regions. Turkey's successful peace process enhanced its regional diplomatic standing and created opportunities for mediating other conflicts across the Middle East and Eastern Europe. Turkish negotiators offered their expertise to nations struggling with similar ethnic tensions, while international organizations sought Turkish participation in peace initiatives elsewhere. The transformation from internal conflict to regional mediator demonstrated how successful peace processes create positive spillover effects that extend far beyond national borders.